Steel Assault is a 16-bit type game that you guys can play on Windows and Switch, which came out in 2021, and was given a PS4 and Xbox One release in 2023. I say this game is more like Contra and Castlevania met. The reason I say it is because the obstacles in the game kind of remind me a little bit of Contra, but the weapon and gameplay style is a little bit like Castlevania only because you have like this whip, and you also have your own power-ups too. Now, this game is developed by Xenophia Interactive and was published by Tribute Games. So the soundtrack that you can listen to in this game is both modern soundtrack, but if you really want to, you can also listen to the 16-bit soundtrack too. This game has like 4 difficulties: very easy, normal, and low. I would think it's expert or something. Seriously. Normal feels like hard, and that's basically one of the things I should mention if you guys are going to think about playing this game. So, this game was kickstarted back in 2015, but of course 2021 was the release, and the game would receive positive reception. And for its gameplay, I will say is that there's 2 different modes. There's a story mode, and there's also a arcade mode. Arcade mode is essentially the same thing as this, as a story mode. The only difference is that if you die once, the game is over. Oh, and when you play in the story mode, the same thing kind of happens, except you have the option to continue playing and where you left off and whatever. So arcade mode is essentially more of a challenging approach of the game. So not only you have your whip, but you also have your little zip line thingy, which you have to use it in order to overcome some obstacles. And that's essentially what it is. You have to overcome obstacles with the whole zipline stuff. And the game can be difficult too. Now, depending on which difficulty you guys play, the bosses have little or large health bars. So it may take a little bit longer to defeat the bosses in this game. And when I saw this, I'm thinking to myself, well, it probably reminds me of Castlevania and it's going to have some sort of plot twist or something. And I didn't look any gameplay, by the way. It was just me guessing. And guess what? I guessed right. Well, only because you have to whip and whatever. But it's close enough to be its own little futuristic Castlevania game. There's 5 stages, or just more like 5 levels for you guys to play. It may be short, as the way it sounds. But trust me, these levels are a little bit long to complete. Which I will just say that. There's also some health items, kind of like how it is in Castlevania, except it's going to be a little hard for you to find. Which is essentially why I call this a Castlevania-like game, because Castlevania has items that hide behind walls or whatever, and this game kind of does the same thing, but I don't know, I could be missing some secrets. There's also some settings for you guys to play around too, like if you want a CRT filter on or not, but for this occasion, this is what the CRT filter looks like. In fact, there's also this curved one as well. So you can have it be like the 4x3 version or a 4x3 curved one, which actually looks pretty cool. Heavily resembles to an older TV that you guys may actually like looking into. In fact, this one's eye-appealing, and it's not a bad thing either. So that's cool. So yeah, some bosses can be a little bit challenging in order to fight, but with enough puzzle solving, you'll be able to figure this game out, and you'll be able to win this no problem. So yeah, the final boss in the game has like 2 faces or whatever, so that was kind of like the big part of it that was like difficult. But if you guys are able to figure it out, then you'll be alright. But yeah, there's also like mini bosses, which takes a little bit of time to find out how you beat these guys. But that's pretty much about it from there. So yeah, there's flying sections, turret sections, and whatever. The game may be a little bit on the short side, but you'll find a fun game to play. I got this while it was on sale on a PS4, and well, you know, it actually plays pretty well. So for Steel Assault, definitely give this game a check out if you guys like retro-inspired like games.